All right, well, guys, let me actually just make sure. Sometimes I only have one Yeti microphone, and I have to keep maneuvering it between my PC and my Mac. All right, guys, refrain from the questions. Allow me to fill out this bracket. This is just a little fun thing I'm doing at the beginning of the video. People can replay it. It's easy, and it may improve the live streams. So when I do the live streams during March, I think I am going to start the live stream filling out an entire bracket, and it should only take me 15 to 20 minutes or so. So just refrain from the questions, and then I'll interact with the chat after it. But I am going to be just filling out the bracket for fun, getting a feel for it, and we will begin. This is Jerry Palm's bracket. I never use him from CBS, so I wanted to use someone else, and Lenardi's wasn't updated from 3 days ago or something like that. So we're going to do this right now, and we'll start with Purdue and Norfolk State. So the other thing is, I didn't include the other, like the first four, because I couldn't fit them in. So it's either Norfolk State or Merrimack, and I said, you know what, I think Norfolk State's going to beat Merrimack, but either way, we're going to have Purdue, excuse me, I'm just going to go by abbreviations, and I'm going to have to like straddle this keyboard to try and do this, because I got my microphone here. Purdue moving on. Let's be honest, guys. Let's not be too cute. St. Mary's as an 8 seed. Kind of disrespectful, but you can kind of understand it. So I have St. Mary's moving on, beating Mississippi State. I'm not high on Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State is the prototypical team to lose in an 8v9 matchup. Kentucky versus Samford. Samford, a 12 seed after that performance. I don't know about that. I think Samford's a 13 seed. I like Kentucky. Kentucky's a very fun team to watch. They don't have any defense, but they're still a fun team. I think Duke ends up winning, but that Kyle Flapowski situation, that's bad karma. Disgusting what happened there. Oh, Kyle Flapowski gets injured, national outcry for 2 days, and then he trolls Wake Forest after they lose, and he plays and Duke wins by 40 points. That's disgusting. It's so sad. South Carolina versus Colorado or Seton Hall. I like Colorado a lot. I think Colorado beats Seton Hall and then beats South Carolina. I am not high on South Carolina. Iowa State taking on Vermont. We got to go Iowa State there. Colorado State versus Virginia. Just like last year, Virginia, they were, what were they? A 4 seed. I had them losing. They ended up losing. I like Colorado State here. Virginia, I don't think should be in this tournament. They're a boring team. Tennessee Morehead State, I like Tennessee a lot. It's setting up great for Tennessee. UNC versus Merrimack. Oh, then I don't know who the other 16 seed was. But UNC wins this game. I don't think UNC should be a 1 seed. I don't know how they're a 1 seed. But he moved UNC up to a 1 seed and Arizona down to a 2 seed. I guess it's negligible or whatever. Oklahoma, FAU. I have not liked Oklahoma at all. I'm going to take FAU there. Clemson versus Richmond. I just don't like Richmond this year. I don't even think Richmond should be a tournament. I'm not a fan of Clemson either, but I don't think that's a 12-5 upset. Creighton versus McNeese. I do like McNeese here. I know it is, kind of normie. A lot of people are going to be picking McNeese, but I will be taking McNeese to win in an upset against a team like Creighton, who's been really inconsistent. I know they've won recently. I'm not feeling Creighton this year. Dayton against Utah or Gonzaga. It's tough picking a team like... I'm going to pick Gonzaga in this game. What does it matter? I'm just not a fan of Dayton either. I saw Dayton was 1.5 point favorites against Loyola Chicago tonight. Dayton has just struggled recently. Baylor versus Charleston. You have to respect Baylor. Nebraska TCU. I think Nebraska... I know people are down on Nebraska. They lost to Ohio State. It's a road conference game. It is what it is. I'm not a fan of TCU. Arizona versus Eastern Washington. Arizona's going to go on a deep run. Arizona's got the point guard, the experience. I like what Arizona's doing. UConn, South Dakota State. This would be the East region. Yeah, UConn obviously is winning this game. The defending national champs. Boise State, Michigan State. That's a horrible draw for UConn. And I know Michigan State, people don't like them. They're inconsistent, but they're still a really annoying team to face in the second round if you're a 1 seed. You want to face a team like, Mississippi State in the second round, not Michigan State. I think Michigan State beats Boise State, but they are inconsistent. Wisconsin versus South Florida. Yes, we're going to go South Florida. The most obvious upset ever. Somebody said that Wisconsin is last year's Virginia. When everyone knew Virginia was seeded way too high, they were a 4 seed. Everyone knew Wisconsin is very similar. They're a defensive team. They're not explosive. I think Wisconsin loses in the first round. Even if Wisconsin gets by South Florida, they wouldn't beat a team like Auburn. And I think Auburn gets by La Tech. I feel like nobody's going to pick La Tech for an upset and then they're going to upset someone. But I don't think that's a great matchup. Auburn, they struggle against really good teams, but against teams they're supposed to beat, they hammer them. I think that could be a blowout. BYU, Princeton, we saw the Ivy upset last year. I don't think it happens 2 years in a row. I think BYU wins. BYU would be a really good team if they were still, in the Mountain West, or what? I think they were in the Mountain West in basketball, because they were an independent in football and then they joined the Big 12. South Dakota State, San Diego State and Oakland. I'm not a fan of San Diego State, but I am taking them here. We'll go San Diego State. I'm not going to have San Diego State going deep. Texas Tech versus New Mexico. I mean, New Mexico is playing better. We're going to take New Mexico. There's no abbreviation for New Mexico. New Mexico. Kansas versus High Point. I'm going to have to take a 15 over a 2. I think Kansas wins this game. I'm sorry. Moving on to the final region. Houston and Fairfield. Do I pick a 16 over a 1? Honestly, what would it matter? This bracket doesn't even mean anything. But no, I am going to pick... Actually, I got to just go like that. Actually, I'm not even sure that's their abbreviation. We'll just go Houston. Houston wins that game. Florida versus Northwestern. I like Florida a lot. I think Florida's better than an 8 seed. That's an interesting matchup, Houston versus Florida. Houston's offense concerns me every single year, but I think you have to say they're a lock for a Sweet 16 at least. Utah State versus Grand Canyon. Listen, I am not a fan of Utah State, but this is one where everyone's going to be picking Grand Canyon. I am going to pick Grand Canyon as well. Utah State's won a ton of close games. I think they're overrated. Illinois taking on UC Irvine. UC Irvine's a good team. This is not a good draw for them. I'm taking Illinois. Illinois, they should probably be a 2 or a 3 seed. They dealt with that suspension. Their best player got suspended midseason. Washington State and Indiana State. I'm taking Indiana State. I'm not even sure what Indiana State's abbreviation is. But Indiana State wins that game. Alabama versus Akron. Bama, I think, is going to be a tough out, even with their bad defense. Mark Sears, point guards win in March. Texas, Nevada. Nevada's been playing great. You have to go Nevada right now. Texas is very inconsistent. It is interesting what happened to that kid from Oral Roberts, Asmus or whatever, the kid that upset Ohio State. He's on Texas now. He's 40 years old now. Listen, Marquette versus Colgate, I will go with Colgate as an upset. You have to take a 15 over 2. I tried to go with Marquette last year to the Final Four, and I got crushed. I'm done with Marquette. Imagine Marquette wins it all now. All right, this is for a spot in the Sweet 16. Purdue versus St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is... that's not a fun matchup for Purdue. We know Purdue has had struggles in the tournament, and you get St. Mary's, who's been crushing everyone. This is not a realistic matchup. I think St. Mary's is going to be a 6 seed. I'm going to say Purdue wins this game. That would not be a fun matchup. Duke versus Kentucky. Gee, they would love this, wouldn't they? This is as blue-blooded as it can get. Duke versus Kentucky. I'm going to say Kentucky wins. Kyle Flapowski, he'll probably injure himself after another court storming. Colorado versus Iowa State. I like Colorado. But this is a tough thing. See, there's no way in the actual tournament I could pick a team from the first... Well, I guess you could. Remember UCLA from the first 4? I hate the first 4. The first four ruins tournament predictions, because what if a team from the first 4 goes to the Final Four like UCLA 2 years ago or whatever it was, and it's just like you can't pick a team from the first 4 because they might not even make the actual tournament of 64. But I like Colorado. I like their guard play. Imagine Colorado versus Colorado State. Nah, Tennessee's winning this game. Moving on down. North Carolina. Yeah, here we go. North Carolina versus FAU. I like FAU pulling off another upset, just like last year. I am not high on North Carolina. I think North Carolina is going to end up being a 2 seed anyways. Clemson versus McNeese. That one is kind of obvious. You got to go with McNeese. McNeese versus FAU. Zaga versus Baylor. Gonzaga versus Baylor. I'm going to say Baylor wins that game. Gonzaga's been good, but They're playing in a bad conference, let's be honest. They lost to St. Mary's as well. Although they will get another chance at them. Nebraska taking on Arizona. That's an easy win for Arizona, come on. I think Nebraska is your prototypical, maybe Nebraska and Washington State. They get into the tournament the first time in forever, they win a game and then they lose. Teams tend to do that. Moving on to the East, it is UConn versus Michigan State. I got to go UConn here. I'm not going to do the Michigan State charade right now. South Florida versus Auburn. I'm going to go with Auburn. Auburn knocks out South Florida. BYU, San Diego State, BYU. BYU, even as a 6 seed over a 3, handles San Diego State. New Mexico versus Kansas. I could see New Mexico upsetting Kansas, honestly. I could see it. We'll have New Mexico advancing there. Houston versus Florida. I do like Florida to upset Houston. All right, now I got to tone it back on the upsets a little bit. Florida, the guard plays elite. Actually, I don't know if I could do that. When I fill out my bracket, I think I'm going to have Houston guaranteed to the Sweet 16 at least. Grand Canyon versus Illinois, Illinois. Indiana State versus Bama, Bama. Nevada versus Colgate. I probably should have abbreviated that. Yeah, that's the abbreviation. Nevada versus Colgate. I actually think Colgate is the rare one and done. Normally when 15 seeds upset 2 seeds, they actually go on to the Sweet 16. But I am going to say Nevada. I mean, they've been playing well. They move on to the Sweet 16. Now this is for a spot in the Elite 8. It is Purdue versus Kentucky, and I think Purdue is more complete. I need 1 seeds to advance there. They move on. Colorado versus Tennessee. I will take Tennessee to advance. 1v2, that is a pure chalk region right there. This is a little bit different. FAU versus McNeese. I think McNeese in this bracket moves on to the Elite 8. What a run for Will Wade. He had some violations, but this McNeese team, they're a high-flying offensive team. FAU, they're streaky. FAU is streaky. They're not going to make it back to the Final Four, let's be honest. Arizona, Baylor, Arizona. Arizona, after losing in the first round last year, I think they're going to be a 1 seed anyways, but they're on a mission. UConn versus Auburn. You got to go UConn. I mean, Auburn really struggles against elite teams. BYU, New Mexico. I'll say New Mexico goes on kind of a Cinderella run in this bracket. Florida taking on Illinois. I'll say Illinois wins that game. Bama versus Nevada. I will go with Alabama to move on to the Elite 8. Moving on to the Elite 8 matchups. Let's see what these seeds are. So this is a 1v2. I am going to be picking Tennessee to beat Purdue. I think Purdue makes the Elite 8 in this bracket and then gets knocked out. Can I actually go over, please? So people, there we go. And then we do have McNeese taking on Arizona, and I do think Arizona, the number 2 seed. Guys, remember, at the end of the day, what normally happens is you get 2 1 seeds. Well, yeah, you get 2 1 seeds, 1 2 seed, and then a hybrid, meaning a seed from anywhere. It could be a 3 seed, it could be a 7 seed. It's 2 1 seeds, 1 2 seed, and then anything else. Look at my bracket setup. I didn't even plan this. Actually, I have 2 2 seeds here. Well, Arizona normally is a 1 seed. I don't know what they were doing putting them as a 2 seed in this, but you have to pick 1 hybrid, and then the rest have to be chalk. Now, let me see. UConn versus New Mexico, Illinois versus Bama. I'd have to say UConn wins this game. There's another 1 seed makes the Final Four. 2 2 seeds, a 1 seed, and then I would pick a 4 seed here, Illinois. Look at the setup of this. This is an amazing setup. And then I would say Illinois makes the national championship because I can't see UConn going back to it. It's very hard. Taking on, in this bracket, we'll do Tennessee. And we'll have Tennessee winning the entire thing. And that is my first bracket right there. And you can see how nice the bracket is, guys. Let me see if I can zoom this out, though. Let me zoom the... Well, it's going to have to still zoom out more. And there's a nice little bracket filled out. It only took me 10 minutes. Colorado over Iowa State. Son, look at Iowa State. Look at their non-conference. They're fraudulent. Listen, Iowa State could be all right, but Ohio State making the tournament. Okay, so if anyone wants me to check a team, if you think a team is good, hey man, what's up? What's up, guys? If you guys think a team is good, I will look at their profile and tell you what I think. I think Florida might make a run. Yeah, I don't think UConn's gonna go back to back, man. I think this can be a really good year for Tennessee. A Final Four type year, maybe even national champion. That would be a great national championship. Tennessee, Illinois. I mean, it is hard to see Illinois make the national title, but that's just how it works out sometimes. What are the teams for my dynasty mode? I think I did a video on that. What was I don't remember my number one team. I have a thumbnail of it. I don't know if I still have the thumbnail here. Hold on. I can refresh my memory if I have the thumbnail. Oh yeah, like Marshall, Navy could be interesting. Yeah, I think Navy's an interesting team to use. Marshall, San Jose State, Stanford, maybe. It would be teams like that. Maine getting into the tournament with Cooper Flag? I don't think Maine's getting in anywhere, man. Hey, man, thank you. I don't know what that means. I think you joined the community. Yeah, you're right. It was Navy. Tennessee beat Illinois in a non-con game. Well, it can be a rematch. Furman's not going to be in the game, brother. Furman is not going to be in the game. Oh, you want me to look up Furman? I don't know. I don't think Furman's very good this year. Oh, this thing is not responding. Yeah, I would be surprised if Furman won their conference, the Southern Conference. I do remember when Furman was started the year 14-0. Where will Justin Fields go? Probably apparently Atlanta. LSU. This search function does not work properly. You should create a stadium on MLB The Show for a live stream. Yeah, you know, I saw that stadium thing, the stadium creator. It looks really bad, honestly. Have you seen those stadiums? I don't think it's not people's fault. It's not people's fault that those stadiums are bad. It's just the way it renders. I think if you look at the stadiums that people create, they're very like fat. They don't look good. And it's because of the graphics or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have like a stadium creator, it's very hard to actually make that look like an NFL stadium. Wake Forest, first four out. Wake Forest, I think, should be in, honestly. MAGA. Yeah, man. That's, I'm in Hemel now. Hemel is going crazy, but MAGA, yeah. Dude, MAGA went 600x. Who would have thought? Who would have thought a 600x? Thoughts on Richmond? Let me see if I can find Richmond. Using this search feature is not. I mean, LSU is 15 and 13. Yeah, LSU, they might make. Man, Richmond is pretty low at 69. 13 and 2 in the A10. The A10's been bad this year. You lose to UMass by 10. You're on a 4-game winning streak. Yeah, you're right. Jordan King has been carrying them. Very good analytically. Their only good player. Let's see. What percent chance do they have? 14% chance. They've got 2 home games, likely wins. And then they are going to have to beat George Mason. If they want to make the tournament, they have to beat George Mason on the road. I mean, they could do it. If they win these 3 games and then win a game or win 2 games in the A10 conference tournament, they could be in. How's Ohio State looking to make the tournament? Not good still. But Ohio State, analytically, 50th. So, a bubble team. They had just a terrible run here. Back-to-back good games. Game score 97. Lost to Minnesota. That's not good. You beat Michigan State. They shouldn't have won that game, but they did. Nebraska, solid win there. You got to beat Michigan, and then you got to beat Rutgers. I mean, it's basically a toss-up game on the road against Rutgers. Rutgers is an annoying team to face, though, especially for a team like Ohio State. I mean, if they're very likely going to beat Michigan. If they beat Rutgers, then they're 19 and 12. They probably need 2 wins in the Big Ten tournament, and they're in one of the last 4 spots, I'd say. Akron. Yeah, that's actually a good call with Akron. I don't know where Akron is ranked, but I know they're right now the favorite to win the MAC. They're 112th at 20 and 8, 12 and 3 in conference. They just lost to Ohio. Ohio is 155. Ohio is one of the better teams in the MAC as well. They got I'd say 3 easy wins. They're going to finish 23 and 8. They may lose in their conference tournament to Ohio. Ohio would get the auto bid then. Looks like Ohio and Kent State are the other 2 teams in that conference that are decent. Cincy get an at-large bid. Cincy right now. Let's have a look at Cincy. Right next to Ohio State. Basically the same record, 16 and 12. Tough conference, really tough conference. 3 straight losses. The loss to the loss to Oklahoma State's a crippler. This probably cost them the tournament. You can't lose to Oklahoma State at home in that conference. Kansas State at home, you have to win. You have to beat Oklahoma on the road. It's doable. West Virginia should be an easy win. Yeah, they got to win out. They've got an 11% chance to make the tournament right now. They need to win out and then at least win a game. But they had a brutal, if they would have beaten Oklahoma State, they could have a margin for error down here, but they don't have that. Their conference record is bad as well. Not trying to stir things up. No still cameras. No, you mean no security cameras? I mean, you have to understand something. I don't know, where would the security camera be? I mean, technically there was I think a camera. I don't know if you've seen the one angle. There's 3 main angles 3 main videos of the first tower getting hit. And one of them, obviously the first one, the documentary, the second one, the dude with his, with an off angle going to the airport or whatever. And then the third one was actually a wide angle. But the reason there's not more cameras is because there's not going to be security cameras pointed up that high on a skyscraper. And the antenna of the North Tower did have a camera, but it wasn't pointed down. It was pointed out. And if you look at that camera from the antenna, it actually shifts after the plane gets hit or after the tower gets hit. It's pretty crazy. Open AI for conversation. I don't think so, man. I don't think I'll be using AI. The only thing I use AI for really is like it's like when I'm trying to like create an image or something. Most fraudulent team in March Madness. I think you just go by seeds then, huh? Most fraudulent team based on seeds. I think North Carolina is not going to do very well this year. Marquette as a 2 seed doesn't really move me. Yeah, but there was a skyline camera. That's what I'm talking about. Or I don't know if it was a camera. It might have been a still camera or something. I think it was a still. It was like it takes photos or something every few minutes. LSU probably going to make the NIT. Yeah, I mean, at 15 and 13, maybe a fringe NIT team. Maybe a fringe NIT team. I don't know. That's not a great record, but if they have won games recently, then maybe. Yeah, I was looking at the games tonight. Dayton only sitting -1.5. I think they're going to lose to Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago's been really good. And then Utah State taking on Air Force, sitting -18. Virginia always fraudulent. Yeah, but this year no one expects Virginia to do anything. I mean, Virginia's going to be an underdog in their first round game if they make it in. I would agree with you if they were like a 4 or a 5 seed. Oklahoma, first 4 out. No, I think Oklahoma makes the tournament fairly easily. Where is Oklahoma? At 41? Yeah, they should be in. Analytically, they've got an 85% chance. They would need a collapse. Well, on home game against Houston, possible loss. Home game against Cincinnati. They need to at least, if they lose these 3 games, then yeah, they're in trouble. That Texas game is probably a loss as well, honestly. Ducks definitely look like they're an NIT team. Oregon, yeah, Oregon for a while there was on the bubble. 60th, yeah, they're analytically worse than Washington. Yeah, the loss to California is going to be tough. 9% chance. Yeah, they need to have a run. Arizona, they need to somehow beat Arizona. If they lose to Arizona, it's not going to happen. Is there a reason why we have the NIT? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It must make money, you know? Am I going to make an NIT bracketology? You know, I thought about doing that last year. I don't see the point of it. I mean, I could look at NIT bracketology. They do it. I don't know what's been going on with my search. Villanova, St. John's, Utah, Providence. Yeah, you're right. LSU might make. Oh, LSU's in as like a 7 seed in this. That's very. I can barely even see that. All right, this is the one I used to like. Providence as a 1 seed, Utah as a 2 seed, San Francisco as a 3 seed. I'm guessing Ohio State's in this. Yeah, they have Ohio State as a 4 seed. Syracuse is in this. Wow. Washington is in as an 8 seed. Loyola Chicago. There's some decent teams. This is a good bubble this year. Yeah, dude, what is that with Wendy's? You have to bid on the price or whatever. If there's a high demand, the price goes up. Dude, what is it? It's like the fucking crypto market, man. You like what you see from UNC Charlotte? You mean UNC Wilmington? They need to win out. Oklahoma, they need to at least win a game here. Do you see that Utah lawmakers have approved a bill that paves way for a new arena? Yeah, I mean, the Utah development stuff is interesting. But I mean, you know how it is, man. Who knows if it's actually going to happen? They have to get a team first. You know, they can put pressure and say it's approved and everything like that, but they actually have to get a team. I think they will. I think most people can sense it. They're going to get some team, whether it's an MLB team or an NHL team. If it's an NHL team, they'll immediately get a new arena. If it's an MLB team, they'll get a new stadium and probably keep the same arena for the Jazz. and then eventually get a new arena, because they do need a new arena at some point. Please do Syracuse. Well, I mean, buddy, it looks like Syracuse. I can respect the request. Syracuse 72. It's not going to happen for the tournament for Syracuse. I'm sorry. I liked Syracuse basketball too. I like the JMA Wireless Dome. They got a 2% chance. They have a road game with Louisville. That should be a win. And then unfortunately for them, if they would have had a home game against Clemson. Oh, they lost to Clemson at home. Wow. Listen, they've been good recently. They've been good. They've won 3 games. The loss to Georgia Tech's not great. But yeah, they're looking like maybe a lower tier NIT team. They're not. There's just no way. Thoughts on NFLPA survey ranking the Chiefs so low? Dude, I don't know. Listen, I paid attention to that survey last year. Isn't the dynamic of that survey just players ranking owners really low? Isn't that what always happens? Well, I mean, this is only the second year they've done it, but I feel like that's... I actually didn't even see that. Let me look that up real quick. I'd rather them rank like stadiums and stuff. Clark Hunt, the worst owner. Well, it is pretty funny he just asked for all that money too. I would like to see just a list, man. I don't know why this thing doesn't even work. Where is my ad blocker, man? It's ridiculous. What is this? Where... this is what happens when you try and find this. And then, oh yeah, let's go to The Athletic. The Athletic is going to paywall the hell out of this. Yeah, it's whatever, man. I don't think they really give a shit if they keep winning. Who do I have from the MAAC going to the tournament? Hold on one second. I'm actually not even sure what that conference is. Is that the Metro Atlantic? Huh. I think Fairfield goes. I think Fairfield goes over Quinnipiac, but you could say Quinnipiac. I know they were the choice for a while. Any chance Vegas A's Stadium is more than 9 acres? I would imagine it would be. I'd imagine they'd be able to agree to something to expand it at least a few more acres. There's no reason to only have it be 9 acres and condense it. I mean, if they have to, I guess. But you're investing 30 years into a stadium. You can't get another acre, really? I mean, come on. Does UNLV have a chance to make a deep run? Yeah, I heard UNLV's been playing better. Let me take a look at UNLV. Yeah, UNLV at 74 analytically is pretty good for the Mountain West. Yeah, they've been playing really well. They just had a 99 game score. It was against Air Force. San Jose State they should win. San Diego State at home is winnable. At Nevada is kind of winnable. Let's see their offensive numbers. 63 and 100 on defense. Yeah. I mean, they could. They've been playing better recently. They've had some good performances. What website has all the analytics? A lot of them. Dude, it is amazing how... It's just, I don't understand. Why are college basketball websites... Why does college basketball have all the great analytics? You cannot find a site like this anywhere for college football where it tells you a game score for a game. Like Ohio State facing a non-conference team. There's no site like this for college football. It doesn't exist. But you could find 10 different great analytical sites that are all free for college basketball. This is just search T-Rank. Just search T-Rank. That's basically what it is. Nevada basketball. Where would Nevada be? Nevada's probably up significantly. Yeah, they're at 39. They've had 3 straight. I mean, they've had a run recently. I'd say they're probably a 7 seed going into the tournament. They're led by a senior. What is their offense, defense? Nevada's an interesting team. Are you continuing the Citadel rebuild series? Yeah, I remember that. I don't think so, man, honestly. Front office posted the list. Yeah, that Twitter account, they yeah. I mean, it's whatever, man. I think those surveys, Who do you think the most underrated team that will make a run in March Madness? Well, most underrated team that will make a run. I think Florida can do something. I think Florida might be able to do something. I'm trying to think of teams that people aren't talking about. I feel like people are talking about Indiana State. I think if Indiana State gets a matchup with Bama in the second round, that's tough. And what other teams could do some damage that nobody's talking about? Maybe Colorado. Maybe a team like Colorado. It depends if they're in the first 4 or not. Do you think Purdue is the most likely 1 seed to go down first? It depends who the 1 seeds are. But in general, yeah, it depends if North Carolina's a 1 seed. I would say them. Yeah, dude, I have seen some of those weird high school dimensions. I mean, it's interesting to look at, Make a video ranking spring training stadiums. I don't see the point, man. Spring training stadiums. There's only so much to them. I mean, I guess there's some that are better than others, but Washington State probably makes the second round if they don't get eliminated. Well, I mean, yeah, if they win, they'll make the second round. James Madison better than App State. I mean, yeah, one of them's like a 12 seed. One of them's maybe James Madison does beat App State. But a lot of people like App State right now. James Madison kind of had the talk early in the season when they started undefeated or whatever. Can see Duke and Alabama stats. Duke is going to be very likely. Yeah, Duke's 13. 9th offensively. Very impressive recently from Duke. Very deep team. Very deep team. And I would expect them to probably go 2-1 in their last 3 games. Possibly go 3-0 though. Bama is loved analytically. They don't have a good defense though. They have a ridiculous offense. Very potent team. That game against Florida is going to be very high scoring. Yeah, Mark Sears has had a crazy year. By Sheba. I don't know about that. I think Sheba might be a little bit too high in market cap for my liking, brother. Sheba it's on a nice run though, man. There's a lot of coins pumping right now. Wake Forest to make a run into the Sweet 16. So long as they sneak in. I agree with you. I like Wake. Wake is a good team analytically. Even with the recent bad loss. Thoughts on San Francisco? San Francisco has a decent basketball program. This year, it's not going well. They just got blown out by, I think, St. Mary's. But normally San Francisco does. They could make the tournament some years. If the Ducks don't lose the rest of their games, well, yeah, they'd make it if they win the Pac-12 tournament. But winning these next 3 games is not going to get them in. Will St. John's make a Sweet 16 push? I'm not sure if St. John's is actually making the tournament. St. John's still has a lot of work to do, even though analytically they are a top 25 team. They've had some really nice performances recently. Yeah, you know what? They're going to easily beat both DePaul and Georgetown, and they're going to go. They're going to be 19 and 12. They probably need to. What are they right now? I mean, this has them at 93% chance. That's really not accurate. It's because they're juiced up analytically, and this thing bases it off of analytics. So obviously, if they're ranked number 22, they're going to have a high chance. But listen, I think St. John's probably does make it. If you're St. John's, you really want to avoid that first four, though. It's such an annoying spot to be in. Do you see a double-digit seed going to the Elite Eight? Oh, certainly, certainly. They're normally always, man. When you do a bracket, I would say at one double-digit seed to the Elite Eight is fine. You know, recently we've had random teams make it far, man. Really random. Like, who could have predicted San Diego State with how putrid their offensive numbers were last year? I was looking at San Diego State's offensive numbers last year, man. How did they make the national title? That just made no sense. But, I mean, that's what it is. That's the tournament. John, I appreciate it, man. Will BYU football get a new stadium soon? I haven't heard anything about that. I think BYU, didn't they get a renovation? And their renovation was terrible. Yeah, they need a new stadium, but I don't think they're going to get one. Mississippi Valley State finally got a win. I saw, yeah, 1 in 27. Detroit Mercer is also like 1 in 27. Yeah, I actually have a video coming up on the whatever, Redskins Commanders new stadium. So possibly the RFK site. Dax, what's up? Yeah, I haven't done one of these streams in a while. Pepe coin? Is that just Pepe, or is that a new version of Pepe? Which one? Because there's a lot of different variants of them. I just want to make sure. Are you asking about the mainstream one? I think Pepe's already on Coinbase and everything. Maybe it's a different one. I don't know. You go to Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay was one of the worst teams in college basketball, and they're like 8 games over 500 now. St. John's NIT bound. I think they'll probably make it. Dayton at Loyola. Yeah, I was saying I think Loyola's going to win that game. Do I remember 2011 Joplin and Tuscaloosa tornadoes? No, I don't. San Diego State was stacked with seniors. I mean, I guess, man, I just, it was looking at San Diego State. 61st on offense. Jesus, man. I mean, I guess they would. Listen, they were hot late. I mean, they didn't have a single, it's just surprising to me that San Diego State went that far. Man, Florida Atlantic could have went to the final. Ooh. Yo, what's up? What's up, buffoonery? Kansas, Final Four bound. Kansas, I don't think so. Have I thought about doing a video on China's potential invasion of Taiwan? Are they talking about that again? I would definitely do a video on that. I haven't seen it anywhere. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention to political news right now. But is that heating up? Dude, that's the last thing we need right now. We're about to get a blow off crypto market. Jesus Christ, the Chinese ruin it all. You think Iowa will make the tournament? I mean, I'd say it's like 50-50. Kansas, yeah, same with Duke. It seems like nobody's talking about, well, I guess Duke recently with the court storming. But it does seem like Kansas and Duke are not getting talked about a lot. Not a fan of Williams-Brice Stadium. I mean, I don't have anything against that stadium. It's not my favorite, but there's, it's just a normal college football stadium. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. I don't know. But like, there's something wrong with my Google to where it doesn't even. Man, they're voting for Ron DeSantis. Um, yeah, 13% voted uncommitted. I don't know why Williamson is still in the race. Uncommitted gained 2 delegates, or gained, yeah, 2 delegates. Uncommitted, hilarious. I don't know what those mints are, man. Thoughts on MSU? They're unreliable, man. You know, they're unreliable. It's hard to pick MSU to go far, but certainly I'm sure people are going to. Am I moving to Tennessee? No. Tennessee is a bit too warm for me, man. Arizona gets too much hate. You like them? Well, Arizona, they lose in the first round last year. If I think they should be a 1 seed this year. If they're a 1 seed, I like Arizona to go really far this year as a 1 seed. If they're a 2 seed, I don't know though. If they're a 1 seed, pick them to go far. Tennessee is a 2 seed. I would pick to go far right now. UConn as a 1 seed, I would say, is going to go far. Massive hype for Dune 2. I've seen a lot of ads for that. Yeah. I didn't even see the first one. Does Ohio have a lot of tornadoes? No. We do get some really bipolar weather. We get thunderstorms, man. We will get thunderstorms during the summer. Normally, like, there's a stretch where it's like nonstop just thunder every day, like for a few weeks straight. And then you'll get really dry periods as well. What about the Arizona TCU game 2 years ago? In football? You think as of now that Arizona is winning the national title? Um, I don't think they're going to win the national title now. It doesn't feel like they're going to win it, but it feels like they're going to make the Final Four at least. What is the college football version of people complaining about court storming? Well, it would just be, storming the field, I guess, right? After a win, and just fans getting in players' faces. McNeese going to the Sweet 16. Yeah, McNeese and Indiana State seem like decent picks. You don't think the Cats, I'm assuming you're meaning Villanova? Yeah, Villanova's right on the bubble. They could make it. You saw Dune 2 in IMAX, and it was insane. Dude, I saw this YouTube video today. It was a simulation of what would happen if you fell into I think it was Neptune. What happens if you fall into Neptune? Or it might have been Uranus. I think it was Uranus. It was an unbelievable video. I mean, I was blown away by the music. It was just such an amazing video, man. I don't know. Crack a beer open. Man, I'm getting there, man. What do you think will happen to the Arizona Coyotes and the D-backs? Wow, that's a great question. Yeah, I think the Coyotes are going to move, man. When you get kicked out of your own arena, yeah, I mean, technically they have an arena to play at in Arizona. It's not like that situation is just so crazy to me. Like they have a fine arena that just got renovated, the Footprint Center. Normally with a situation like that, like the arena that they're leaving is so decrepit they have to move into a shithole. No, they have an arena. They just got kicked out of Phoenix. I think they gotta leave. I think they should go to Salt Lake City or Quebec City. I think the D-backs get a $500 million renovation. I would be surprised if they left. It would be good for my channel if they left, but I don't think they'll leave. I do not follow college baseball, no. Beautiful weather in Texas. Is it seriously, man? What is that, like in the 70s for you guys? I don't know. I don't know how. I don't want to friggin' disclose. I would go to the temperature right now. I think it's like 40 degrees or something right now, man. We had a really weird temperature day. I woke up, it was 70 degrees, and you know, I went outside at like 4. Well, this is what happened on like Thursday. I woke up, it was 70 degrees out, and I went out to get coffee, and it was 70 degrees out. And then I was doing all these videos and stuff, and I looked outside, and I was like, I mean, what is that? You know, it was like, you know, I thought it was like some type of cotton ball or something, but it was actually snow, and I was like, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know how that happens. We had like a record temperature drop of, had to have been 45, 50 degrees or something in 5 hours. Strange. You have the same dream of getting nuked. Holy hell. I mean, that's... I mean, how long has it been going on? How long have you been having that dream is what I would ask. Why hate on San Diego State? Oh, there's no hate. There's no hate on San Diego State. I just don't think they're going to do very well this year. That doesn't mean I hate them. Arizona didn't win a single game last month. Yeah, it's tough when you have a horrible stadium situation like that. I mean, your team's not going to be trying. Well, they'll be trying, but it's just the front office is not going to... There's no incentive, you know. Oregon versus Ohio State next year. Yeah, I would imagine that game's on at 7:30. That's probably when they'll put that game on. Oregon versus Ohio State. I wish there was like a where you could see where the games are going to be on or people's predictions. I mean, I would make a prediction on when I think game times are. I just don't think it would get views. Thoughts on Nevada? I think Nevada could be good. Love your tier lists. I watched them with my friends, and we all disagreed with the logos. Yeah, the logos are just completely subjective, you know. It is what it is. Early World Series picks. I think with the World Series, you have to kind of troll with your predictions just because it's such a crapshoot, you know. Like the Twins or something. The Twins versus... Because the AL Central's so bad. I mean, the Twins never do well in the playoffs, though. The Twins versus the Dodgers. The Dodgers make it with the Japanese firepower. Tiffin, Ohio. Yeah, I have heard of that, man. That's not really near me, but I've heard of it. Going to be in the 70s in Ohio on Monday. Yeah, no, you're right. I think it is going to be very, very warm in Ohio for a few days next week. Yeah, I've heard about Caitlin Clark. I find that very strange. I understand Caitlin Clark set a record. I just don't see... I mean, I think it's just something where, like, people just get, like, caught up in the moment with people sometimes, I think. It's like the Jeremy Lin syndrome, you know? But I mean, Caitlin Clark, I don't want to hate on her, but I'm just really not... I don't know. She's a good scorer, I guess. What's up, man? I see you in the Discord, brother. What happened to Oregon basketball? They have a decent record, better than other bubble teams. Yeah, they're in a bad conference. That's the problem. Been going through 2020 polls, see how accurate they were, and they do lean Democrat. Oh, they always lean Democrat in general elections. You just have to go to Real Clear Politics, dude, and you'll see all of them. Go look at the look at the popular vote, Biden versus Trump in 2020. Even before the economy got nuked to shit when Trump had a decent approval rating, Biden was still winning by 5 points. I mean, the Democrats, and maybe this is different if you want to say, well, the 2022 midterms, Republicans underperformed in terms of the polls. I mean, I guess, I don't know, man. If you look at, I don't see how anyone can predict a Biden victory based on the numbers that we have. It's just impossible to predict. And the only way you can predict a Biden victory is some other stipulation like Trump getting charged or Trump getting some type of felony or something. There's a real possibility Coach Prime starts 0-3. I think this has got to be Prime's last year at Colorado. I think they'll go 6-6. His son will go to the NFL and he'll go to a huge program or something. Or he'll go to like a Miami if Cristobal sucks. He'll go, I don't think he goes to FSU because they have a good coach right now, but honestly, I mean, does it even matter if he goes to Miami because Miami and FSU probably aren't even going to be in the same conference. I mean, you would think that'd be a great rivalry, but yeah, I live in Ohio, yeah. Thoughts on Clemson basketball? I think they're a one and done. I think they'll probably, as long as they get matched up with the right 12 seed, I think they win a game and then lose to a 4 seed. What does the T rank mean for the games scheduled? Um, what functionality are you trying to use? Games scheduled. Richmond Spiders have the best logo. It's actually hard to market. A lot of people hate spiders, but I like the logo as well. I think it's a nice logo. People have a lot of fear of spiders. Gabe, I appreciate it. Arizona State logo is fire. You know, I think it's a little skinny. I think it needs some girth to it. Higher championship chance, Lakers or Warriors. I think they should face each other in the play-in. You know that's going to happen. They got to make it to where that happens. Thoughts on the Packers? Oh, the Packers are going to get a ton of hype with Jordan Love developing. Yeah, certainly. I mean, they'll probably be favorites to win the North with the Bears, you know, Minnesota possibly losing Cousins. Most forgotten Heisman runner-up, Dede Westbrook. Jabril Peppers. Dude, there were 4 Heisman runner-ups in, when was that, like 2018? Dede Westbrook. Dude, he was a beast, man. Dede Westbrook was, and that's such a great name for a receiver as well. You don't know why Utah is a bubble team? I think Utah's probably headed to the NIT. Prime going back to TV. I guess that's a possibility. Trump winning Pennsylvania would be a death blow. You know what? I think winning Georgia would be a death blow, dude. I think if he wins Georgia, already with Florida in control, like you said, very likely Nevada, Arizona. You're right though, Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is the actual swing state with the most electoral votes, because Florida's really not a swing state anymore. Thoughts on Marquette? I think Marquette can be a Sweet 16 team. I want to see Marquette's team profile. Let's see where Marquette's ranked right now. Look at their roster a little bit. I mean, they're 8th overall, 22-6. They've had 3 straight really good performances. Really bad loss to UConn. Well, I mean, the DePaul, obviously you're going to crush DePaul. Xavier at home is not very good. They've had a very easy schedule recently with these 3 games. Creighton, UConn at home. It'll be interesting if they beat UConn at home. I mean, they've got 3+ players here, man. Depends what matchup they get. Ducks will be 4 next year in football in the preseason poll. I think Oregon will probably be 4th or 5th. Upcoming games. Are you talking about this? T rank line? Or are you talking about this number? This number is just where these teams are analytically. Like Dayton's the number 31 team. Loyola Chicago's ranked 92nd analytically. Penn is 204 out of like 365 or however many teams there are. Quinnipiac's 172. That's all that means. There's no way that is the stream lagging. I have had some internet problems. If Colorado makes the tourney, they are an easy first round exit. No, I think Colorado could do decent. Jordan Love, sophomore. Yeah, like a senior slump. What is this, his fourth year? Is it lagging bad? Pumpkin spice, gingerbread flavored things. I mean, it's not my first choice. I don't really have that type of stuff. I don't think it's that bad, though. Haskins? No. No. There's no way Haskins should have won it. That was the year Murray won it. Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. The T rank line is just the projected line based on this analytical website's opinion. It doesn't match up 100% with the Vegas line, but it's their line based on the analytics of the team. Tennessee on fraud watch, second round exits. I mean, listen, I think Tennessee will be good. Tennessee will have a good tournament run, I think. Chances Colorado is, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, you play games at neutral courts, but I was saying that about Iowa State. On a scale of 0 to 10, what are the chances Bronny James turns out to be decent? I don't know, man. I mean, he's young. He's struggling right now on a pretty bad team, but he'll make the NBA at least, but I don't think he'll be very good, honestly. Well, I mean, I think a lot of those teams have altitude. I think Washington is like 15-13 in basketball. I think the combine nowadays is just. Let's see whenever I go on my even though it's the same account. This thing's taking a year to load. Even though it's the same account, I never get recommended good stuff on here. It's just all shit. I don't know why it's taking forever to load. God. Trevor Etienne transferring from Florida to Georgia. Theo Johnson. Wait, what college? Oh, he went to Penn State. Cloud seeding is to blame for Canada's storms and flooding. They do a lot of cloud seeding in Dubai. They're forced to. They get no rain. The avalanche of polls all went to Trump. I thought that was yesterday, or did more come out? Yeah, more probably came out. Yeah, I don't know if USC basketball was necessarily that hyped. It was really just Bronny James. Well, they did have another center that was like a 5-star. Brewers are most underrated. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. I do think the Brewers are kind of boring. They always seem to just be a horrible offensive team. Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M is going to make it. They have a very small chance to make it. I'm guessing Auburn is a Sweet 16 team. They're a solid 4 seed. They struggle when they face teams on their level. They can beat bad teams and teams ranked lower than them. Oregon beats Arizona by 3. Oregon on the road. I mean, Arizona has had some weird home losses. It seems like on Saturdays they get upset at home. Dude, like I get recommended all this like combine crap. UCF James Madison only football programs to go from Division 3. Yeah, I mean from the 70s though. That's a little clickbaity. They're making it seem like they went from Division 3 straight to FBS. The dude changed his name to Kool-Aid. You got to respect it. Dude, but I mean, if you click on one of these things, like you go to a viral tweet, I can't even fucking find a viral tweet. It's just nothing but fucking videos, man. It's just constant videos. Biden up 3 in Virginia. Yeah, I think I saw that. It's just constant videos. Maybe do a refresher. Thoughts on Yankees? I mean, the Yankees. I'm surprised they kept Cashman. There's got to be some loyalty problems there. That dude's got to go. You can't have the Yankees have such a huge advantage in baseball, not making the World Series for 15 straight years. It's almost impossible, considering they always are going to have an advantage in terms of basically having extra players, just because their payroll is so big every year. I mean, it's like they're the same thing as the Dodgers. They just don't allocate their funds properly. BYU can shoot. Wouldn't be surprised to see them make a run. Yeah, I think we'll have to see who ends up, who gets really hot here towards the end of the year. Sell me on the Raiders taking Michael Penix. I'm not a fan of Penix at all. I am not high on Penix. I would actually take Bo Nix over Penix. I think Penix was not good in the second half of the year. People are ignoring it. He was, I guess, good against Texas, but then bad against Michigan. Go look at the second half of the year. He was really bad. Twitter. Well, dude, look at this For You page. Video. What is this? Oh, I guess that's just the dude. Antonio Brown. That's a slur. I mean, dude, it's just, look at this ad. This is all crap. Let me see if I can find something that's a pure Elon Musk, and I love Elon. Woman life satisfaction in 2020. Unmarried. Yeah. It's a sad situation. Dude, the amount of just crap on this site, and everything's a photo or a video. Everything. But I always get recommended horrible stuff on here. Like it's interviews. How many I do like Kraken. Is baseball the most depressing major league right now? I think it's hard to quantify that. It depends what you like. Thoughts on the Celtics? I mean, it would be a failure if they don't finally at least. They need to win the finals this year. Penix was playing through injury. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of him personally. Elon ruined it. Well, listen. It's definitely better that Elon's running it, I'll say that. But in terms of the usability of it, incentivizing people to post crap for interactions obviously is going to make the user experience worse. It is what it is. What will happen to Justin Fields? I think he'll probably. The thought process is he's going to go to Atlanta, apparently, or he's like minus 300 odds to go to Atlanta. So he'll probably go to Atlanta, start there. He's got decent talent around him. And, I mean, he's got Bijan Robinson, Pitts, London. Wembanyama made your friends get back into the NBA. Yeah, the NBA's tough, man. There's just so much scoring. I heard they're trying to do something to mitigate the scoring. Do I think Iowa will be good next year? I mean, their schedule's gonna get so much tougher. Maybe 7-5. What are some seeds 14 to 16 that could pull off an upset? I don't think there's any 16 seeds. It's very hard to predict that. But even Fairleigh Dickinson, there's no way anyone could predict something like that. So who knows? A 14 seed that could upset a 3. Vermont. It would surprise me if Vermont did it. Oakland, it would surprise me. I think UC Irvine as a 13 is interesting. I think Akron could be interesting if they get like Akron versus Iowa State. But I mean, Akron's not even that good. I don't think Charleston's doing much. High Point, I don't know. Maybe I mean, Colgate is just not good this year. Even though they've had a dynasty run, I mean, they always win the Patriot League. But if you look at their team success compared to previous years, they're not very good this year. Thoughts on ZYNS? Is that an altcoin? Fields has said that he doesn't want to go to Atlanta because family and friends there always ask him for stuff. That's got to be a troll. Can he just say no? I mean, what the? There's no way that's an issue. Gonzaga beats St. Mary's by 5. Yeah, Gonzaga's desperate for a win for sure, and St. Mary's is already in. Wong, yeah, hopefully that ends up happening by March. I think probably realistically though, early April. St. Mary's for the Final Four. Maybe if they're like a 6 seed. Iowa State. Will I stream hitting 100? Yeah, I'll probably do a mega stream. I think people are going to troll me though and like unsubscribe. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I probably will. Probably in early April or late March. Yeah, that's what I was thinking with Colgate. They're due. You would think they're due for an upset, but this year they're really not good. But isn't that kind of the point of March? Like just random things happen. Did you see Barbie and do you know about its accusations of hating men? I never saw that movie. No, I heard it was kind of I don't know. I heard it was kind of not really that bad. It was just whatever. Chewable tobacco? No, I don't have that, man. Gonzaga always overrated. Gonzaga is this year definitely not overrated. They're barely in the tournament. Gonzaga should have kept their football program. It would be fun to see Gonzaga on the football with getting a new stadium. Did I see what happened? What do you? I mean, come on, man. What do you want me to say to that? It's kind of like St. Peter's. Yeah, I thought St. Peter's was terrible, and they made it to like the freaking Elite Eight. That's the point of it, though. Stephon Diggs is now a Buccaneer. Did that just happen, or are you trolling, man? Come on. You trolling, bro. I'm sure X will recommend it to me. I mean, what is this crap? Oh, okay. That's just a cute baby. You're gonna make me look. You're just making stuff up. Have I ever flown? Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on a plane probably in 3 years. Yeah, I bet we used to. Yeah, I've flown a decent amount. Thoughts on Providence? I don't think that's actually a good team to talk about. Yeah, Providence is probably going to be somewhere in like the 60 range analytically. This thing turned off. I need the lights. Wait, where is Providence? Wow, they're 61. Yeah, 18-10, 34% chance to make the tournament. Really bad game against Marquette. You got to beat Villanova. Absolutely, that's a bubble game. Obviously, you got to beat Georgetown. You get UConn at home, probably a loss, but it's possible. Yeah, they've got some opportunities to get into the tournament for sure. Kim English, the head coach. Kind of more of a really defensive team. Diggs being on the Bucks, that would, I mean, I would imagine, don't they have to trade him or something, or they're running out of money there in Buffalo. Dodgers, Padres, 3:05 a.m. local time. What does that mean? 3:05 a.m. local time, your time, or is their game in London or something? Oregon basketball court. It's hard to look at, man. Devontae Adams to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'd like to see something like that. Why not YOLO it? Aaron Rodgers, like, this is his last year to possibly still be good. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I would be like, you better just trade for him. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care if you give up 10 first-round picks. Fuck this team. I have 1 year left. I just tore my ACL. Do you see University of Florida fired everyone in charge of DEI? I didn't see that, but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, especially Florida, a Republican state now, phasing out DEI. McNeese to the second weekend unless they draw Kentucky in the first round. Yeah, that's a good tag. I think Kentucky is a dangerous team. They're a great offensive team. I think Kentucky and Florida are both good teams out of the SEC. Bama looks beatable by a 14. I think that's very unlikely. Bama's like a sledgehammer. I think Bama probably beats a 14 seed like 95-82 or something. But you are right. Alabama on defense is not good at all. But they have such an unbelievable offense. I mean, in terms of Ken Palm, you look at the Ken Palm stuff, they actually do have a luck metric as well. They've got a luck metric on here, but Alabama's like the number one offense in forever. Like, they have the number one offense this year, and I mean the 100th ranked defense. But let's take a look at some of the fraudulent teams. South Carolina's a fraudulent team. If you look at their luck, Samford possibly, if they end up making the tournament, probably a bit of a fraudulent team. Virginia, a fraudulent team. Ole Miss, Quinnipiac. Is that Quinnipiac's polling grade? It's an F-. Utah State, another team that's pretty fraudulent. South Florida, maybe. I know a lot of people like South Florida. But that's just one little fact there. Who knows? Oregon's chances. Yeah, sure. I could actually just go to look at every team's chances. I think it's Tourneycast. Yeah, Tourneycast. Oregon. 9% chance to make it. So they have a 9% chance to make it. All right, I'll go to their webpage since other people are asking. Yeah, I talked about Oregon earlier. You know, probably probably going to lose to Arizona. You got to win these two games. You have to beat Colorado at home and Utah at home. Sanford low-key spiraling. Didn't they have an injury or something? Yeah, they got throttled, dude. They got destroyed. Someone was saying they had an injury. I don't know. Sanford. I wonder what their game score was. I mean, their game score was 11. I'm surprised they were only down by an average of 4.5 points. Yeah, I don't think the Citadel. They're 17-point favorites over the Citadel. When will the Intuit Dome host March Madness games? I would imagine pretty, if they have a region out there, it probably pretty much instantly. Samford, yeah, Oral Roberts, dude, that was the biggest bust in history. The biggest 12-5 bust, Duke versus Oral Roberts. Duke immediately went up 15 to nothing, and I don't think they ever trailed by 12. Hate how sports games are always at 3 a.m. I mean, where do you must live in Australia. Yeah, I've seen that website as well. That's another website that I use. That's another good website. Grand Canyon 25-4. Yeah, Grand Canyon is they could win a game maybe. I would like to say, oh, there are some spreads. Baylor -4.5 versus Kansas. Creighton -4.5 versus Marquette. But why just start them at an ideal time? Well, I mean, dude, if you live in Australia or wherever the hell you live, obviously it's, they do start in an ideal time where they're located. James Madison or App State will make noise. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's a crapshoot with those 13 type seeds. Whichever one of those teams gets in, they could go to the Sweet 16 easily. What does my love life look like? Oh man, it's a train wreck. I think he lives in maybe the Australia. Yeah, a lot of people are retiring to the Philippines. I've heard. Grand Canyon could be a sneaky 13 beating a 4. Do you think any 16 seeds getting Yeah, I mean if I was forced to pick a 16 seed to win a game, it would probably be South Dakota State. Maybe. Merrimack, they're a token 16 seed. They're going to lose. Fairfield or Quinnipiac, I don't see it. It would have to be like South Dakota State versus I don't even know who. Maybe I don't. There's no way Purdue loses again in the first round. Let's be honest. UMass. They're a big MAC team now. I hear they joined the MAC. Ohio State making it. It's unlikely. I mean, it's possible. They got like a 10% chance, I'd say. Fun fact, a person in your class has slept with. You go to Alabama? You go to Alabama University? Go San Diego State. I don't. It's going to be tough this year for San Diego State. I did have them winning a game and then losing to BYU. Or are you talking about South Dakota State? They do have similar abbreviations. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream, I think. I don't know when I'm going to be streaming next. I've thought about streaming some different things, but I'm not too sure yet. I don't think Santa Clara. Yeah, you were talking about South Dakota State. I don't think Santa Clara is making the tournament. They did start off the season like 7-0. I remember that. Yeah, I think they're a fraud. South Dakota or San Diego State. I think San Diego State is they're due for an early loss. I think they can beat Princeton though, because I don't see another Ivy team. Having a big run. Because Princeton had their run last year. Do we really think they're going to have another huge run? I don't see it. Stream NCAA 25. When does that come out? I think in July. Yeah, Eastern time is, I would say, Eastern time is pretty standard here in the United States. They do try and they do try and placate to other, like the Central is decent, but I think South Florida might be able to go on a run. Maybe, I think they for sure would upset a team like Wisconsin. Compare resumes to Northwestern and Wisconsin. Yeah, I think Wisconsin is seeded as high as they are because they went on like a huge midseason run. Stream the first round. I would have to like set up all of the scoreboards. I mean, I think I do a lot of yeah. I mean, I don't do a ton of news on actual sports. I don't know if that's true though. It's hard to generate views doing that. All right, that's gonna wrap up the stream.